Hey guys, it's Adam. I hope you're doing lovely. Welcome back to Do You Watch Anime, where I sit down with a guest every week and ask them, Do you watch anime? And we go from there. And today, joining me is voice actor. You've heard him in such popular franchises as Solo Leveling, Brawlhalla, and Genshin Impact. June Yoon, how are you today?
Hello, thank you for having me. I'm well. How are you?
Good, good. So, do you watch anime?
I watch anime. I do. I'll say proudly, I watch anime.
Perfect. So, how did you first get into anime?
It's a two-parter, if you'll have me.
Absolutely.
Uh, I was born and raised in Korea,
Okay.
and as a child growing up in Korea,
Hmm.
anime was part of my experience. I just didn't know it was.
Hmm.
Dubbed into Korean, all-time series like Atom, right? Speed Racer,
Yep.
these
Yep.
sorts of things is what I watched growing up
Hmm.
and knew and understood them as cartoons.
Hmm.
Same thing with American American cartoons as well,
Yeah.
Transformers and things of that nature.
Hmm.
Um, and then when my family and I moved to the U.S., all of that got lost. The language barrier, first and
Hmm.
foremost,
Of course.
and busy catching up with life.
Hmm.
I hadn't rediscover. I wouldn't come to rediscover anime
Hmm.
until I turned like 32, something
Okay.
like that.
Yeah.
Decades and decades later, I keep hearing about this site called Crunchyroll, and I know that to be a roll, sushi roll, kind of
Yeah.
a what is this? I keep hearing it from my students. So I get on it, and sure enough, it's anime. And it opened the floodgates of nostalgia. And I started searching for various things, and I'm like, wow, this is what current animation back in the day, but this is what current style looked like.
Hmm.
So I started watching. Just a Sword Art Online is what I started out with,
Okay.
like
Okay.
just on a random click too.
Yeah.
Oh, that cool! That guy's got two swords. That's pretty cool. Click and started watching, and
Yeah.
then sucked right back into it. Yeah.
Yeah. Damn. So, what are some of your favorite anime ever? I guess.
Ever, all
Yeah.
time. My gosh. I enjoy a
Hmm.
wide swath of genres when it comes
Okay.
to anime.
We love it.
One particular direction that I lean to when it comes to
Hmm.
comedy isekai is the one about the zombies,
Okay.
the Saga Land, the Zombieland saga.
Yep. So good.
So wacky. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? At the
Yeah.
same time, it's so good. the
Yes.
the story inside, the premise of it all, and
Hmm.
the homage to the toast in mouth hit by a truck, that whole trope,
Yeah.
it just works really really well, and the
Hmm.
creative storytelling about
Oh,
zombie idols and all the problems that they might face. And you
it's
notice
true.
how there aren't any other zombie idol anime out there right
It's
now.
true.
It is indeed a very unique way to tell a story, and
Yeah.
I love them for
Yeah.
that.
Totally.
Um, another twist on a genre that I love is the oh gosh, Emiya household does the dishes, something like that. My gosh, it's the one where they take the fake characters and turn it into
Okay.
a daily life slice of life
Oh
anime,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
right?
Oh.
And it's just these powerful people just living daily lives about like, oh, what should we have for dinner? Oh, let's have a casual volleyball match on the front lawn. You know what I mean? But it's like
Yeah.
powerful things that are happening.
Yeah.
Love those twists and turns.
Hmm.
I'm also into. I'm also big into slice of life anime as well. Laid Back Camp is a big
Oh,
example of what I love.
so good.
Super Cup as well.
Yeah.
The scooter anime
Hmm.
and all the others that I've watched. 5 centimeters a second, the
Oh,
slice of life movie. I
yeah.
really love that as well.
So good.
And it spans across in this way. It spans
Yeah.
across pretty much the entire genre of anime, and I have my favorites in there.
Yeah. Love that. So, how did you originally get into acting slash voice acting?
Oh gosh, that's a. Do we have time for this?
Oh, absolutely.
Long story short, I used to be a high school theater teacher.
Okay.
And I did that for 11 plus years, and I loved it, every
Hmm.
moment of it. Still very much do love teaching, which is why I
Mhm.
coach today. It's part of my happiness.
Mhm.
Um, and I'm one of the fortunate ones who had realized that teaching and directing was a part of my personal happiness that I could thrive upon and make a living out of, career out of.
Mhm.
And I realized that like sophomore year of high school, and other people don't have that
Wow.
luxury.
Yeah. Holy wow.
So it was about this endless pursuit of acting and wanting to be in the space where it happens, if you will.
Mhm.
Uh, so got hired on as a theater teacher and taught and directed, produced, choreographed.
Damn.
I can't do that anymore. My dad bod won't let me. Uh, and enjoyed life until one day the job they let me go,
Mhm.
and it at this crossroad of this total crushing blow to my self-esteem, because that's all
Mhm.
I knew, right?
Yeah.
Decades and decades and decades, all I knew.
Totally.
And laying in bed, like thinking about what could I do next,
Mhm.
I said to my wife, I want to try voice acting. And she looked at me and said, yes, you should. And to this day, like I owe my life to her,
Mhm.
genuinely speaking.
Yeah.
So I started to do research, as I do as a teacher when looking up new things, and consumed and consumed and consumed, and realized that this might be a thing.
Mhm.
And started auditioning, learned about entrepreneurship, marketing, the business end, started making connections, networking, until something came along, and I booked it for pennies on the word,
Yeah.
and loved it.
Yeah.
So here we are.
Wow. Holy. Going from high school teacher to I love it. So you've been a dub voice actor in a bunch of live action uh TV shows and movies. How has that been compared to like say an anime or a video game for like those who don't know?
Yeah,
Mhm.
anime dub. So the content that's created outside of the United States
Mhm.
in either Korean, Japanese, or any other language that they use have to be dubbed into English for some audiences, which who
Mhm.
prefer dubs in this way.
Yeah.
Anime is one flavor. It's Japanese, 100%
Mhm.
of the time. Nah, most of the time
Yeah.
it's Japanese. Um, and because anime is animated characters and their mouth movements are generally open and close,
Mhm.
maybe some wide, some of these little mouth shapes exist in
Yeah.
anime, but it's pretty generalized mouth movement that seem to sync with the Japanese and the English words.
Mhm.
But in live action, Korean, your favorite Korean dramas, for example, it's real people talking about real things,
Yeah.
and we human beings speak all different languages with all different mouth shapes.
Mhm.
And I personally love and enjoy the challenge of having the English word fit the mouth shape, not just the timing of this is where I start and this is where I end,
Yeah.
but in the middle as well. What word shaped what shape of the mouth and the lips that we form with the
Mhm.
pauses and some of the little flickers that we might do with our tongues, and how it all fits together like a puzzle piece. And being able to nail that in the session to just so that it's convincing to the eye as you
Yeah.
listen. It's one of the more weird like clicks that I enjoy.
Yeah.
It's like it's like working on a Google sheet and have the formula work out just so that makes you go, you know.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Stylistically, anime will also be
Mhm.
larger than life. They're
Yeah.
elevated. They're lifted off the ground a little bit,
Mhm.
where Broly screams can be genuine and real, indeed.
Yeah.
But in
Yeah.
real life, it's not like that, right?
Mhm.
And live action dubs will often ask for that real sounding, cinematic, grounded performance of a real human, and prefer that style over the animated, lifted, elevated styles of performance.
Yeah. Totally. So, what has been kind of your favorite live action like dubbing role?
Oh God, all of them, Adam. All of them. I
Yeah.
love my directors and
Yeah.
producers and audio engineers I've ever worked with. All of them,
Mhm.
Adam. A few standouts as
Yeah.
well, of
Yeah.
course, embedded inside.
Mhm.
Um, one recent one that I've completed is Chicken Nugget.
Yes.
Oh, lovely! You're aware of it. That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Most people are like, "What? Chicken Nugget?"
Yeah.
I particularly enjoyed that role as
Hmm.
a semi surreal, aloof, and this character, this mad scientist character that is completely not like me. From an
Yeah.
actor, that's a challenging perspective and an
Hmm.
idea,
Hmm.
and as an effort to expand my acting library and capacity as well. It was a good challenge, and I really loved working with the director inside that studio, and it was a great show. The more recent one that came out is Blackout.
Yeah.
It's on Hulu,
Hmm.
and I play the main antagonist on that one.
Ooh. Okay.
It's this super interesting, mysterious psychological thriller
Hmm.
drama where the storylines and the plot is so well weaved in these tiny little intricate nuances that exist between the people and how the plot kind of comes together at the end
Hmm.
and a big twisty surprise that you're not ready for.
Ooh, we love that.
I enjoyed working on that one quite a bit.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. So, how do you pitch Chicken Nugget to people? Because it's very out there.
Yeah, I just look him in the face and I say, "A girl has been turned into a chicken nugget," and I wait for the reaction.
Yeah, straight up. Because I found it. I found a clip on Twitter, and I was like, this is a real thing, huh? Yeah. People are like, yeah, this is it. I was like, amazing. We love that.
BTS,
Yeah.
BTS.
Oh God. So you're on Solo Leveling, and how was getting to be in Solo Leveling? Because that was one of my favorites of this year.
An honor to
Hmm.
be quite frank and blunt. An honor
Yeah.
to be considered for something of that magnitude
Hmm.
and distribution and fame and acknowledgement even are quite the honor indeed.
Hmm.
And I'll gladly do it again, of course, and
Yeah.
look forward to more of these opportunities that may come my way. But I really enjoyed working with Caitlin Glass, the director.
Yeah.
I recorded over at the Central Command with Jeff Vicente
Hmm.
and the folks that are involved in the production, top to bottom. All the actors too are wonderful people,
Hmm.
and I really, really enjoyed myself. Yeah,
Yeah. So, what was your favorite part about like just the story of Solo Leveling?
it's like on the surface, it's like any other anime,
Hmm.
right? Our main hero character, who resembles us in the inside, gets
Hmm.
to have his rise,
Yeah.
right? And no, who doesn't love a story like that? But the thing that I love about Solo Leveling, on top of the typical tropey anime that we may see,
Hmm.
is the pure style. Like, it's one thing to have a shonen rises to the top anime story, and we've
Yeah.
seen so many of those in the past,
Never heard of
sure.
it, man.
The way Solo Leveling is done,
Hmm.
and I knew this from the manhwa.
Yeah.
I read it top to bottom
Okay.
manhwa before it became an anime, and
Okay.
I was pleasantly surprised when the announcement was made.
Hmm.
But I remember sitting there with the pages as I scrolled, remembering how stylistically beautiful and how wonderfully eccentric is not the right word. How wonderfully unique
Yeah.
the style was, the
Hmm.
storytelling, the dialogue, the art, the direction, the pacing.
Hmm.
Um, I really thought it was something really unique that we had on the table, and sure enough, it would go on to receive millions and billions of accolades and
Yeah.
productions, and in this manner, season two, all the things.
Yeah. Oh my god. Cuz I've also read the manhwa. I was when it got announced I was like, "Oh, this is so sick." I'm like, "Can they capture the how beautiful the art is?" I was like, "Oh god." We've seen it a couple of times where, it doesn't translate, but like I was as soon as I saw the first episode I was like, "Okay, we're good. We're good." Cuz that that manhwa is so beautiful.
That smile haunts me to this day.
Yeah.
That toothy smile of the statue. Yeah.
Yeah, it's I have goosebumps right now, like straight up.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh my god. And like yeah, just the characters, everything is just so good. Um yeah. So I had a question. There we go. It just completely left my mind. That's good. Good job, Adam. Good job. Um so speaking of like, do you read manga?
Used to quite a
Okay.
bit.
Okay.
It was part of my go to sleep routine.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
used to read quite a lot of it actually.
Mhm.
Um, one manga I used to read is a Miracle-chan sees ghosts.
Okay. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
I don't
yeah.
remember if that's her name. Is there an
Yeah.
anime that's coming out now?
Yeah,
Right?
I think it came out like a year ago or so, something
Has
like
it
that.
already? Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That was a manga I used to enjoy quite a bit, and
Hmm.
just get super creeped out in bed,
Yeah.
like.
Oh, I love that.
But I also read. I don't read regularly manga.
Hmm. Yeah.
Other things in my library, sure, but
Hmm.
another manga that really impressed me, it left an impression in my memory is
Yeah.
My Senpai is Annoying.
Oh, so
Um,
good. That is.
Slice of life, right?
It's
It's in
so good.
romantic comedy. It's great.
Yeah.
I
It's.
love it.
Oh my god, so
Yeah,
good. Like literally, we watched the anime, and we were like, this has no right to be so good. And then we picked up the manga, and it is just like the colors are like not black and white, it's like green and like pink, and I was like,
yeah,
what is, holy crap. And like just, oh, I, my senpai, everyone should watch slash read My Senpai is Annoying. It's so good.
yeah. I read that manga before it was an anime as
Oh
well,
yeah.
and gosh, just fell absolutely head over heels in love with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I just, I love their like chemistry, and like they're just like back and forth. Oh.
And finally, like a
Mhm.
manga and an anime about adults.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. You
Thank
know,
you. Yeah, about adults. Thank you. It's like we have so little to like grasp on. We have like, My Senpai is Annoying. We have Kaiju number 8, which is about
right,
adults. Oh
right.
my god. We got not a lot else.
Feed us the old timers. No more
Yeah.
teenagers. Come on.
Yeah. 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 I can only read slash watch so many high school romances. Oh, we have Rent a Girlfriend. Great.
Yeah, yeah. Great story indeed. But
Yeah.
gosh, yeah, my days of resonating with the young characters is long
Yeah.
over. 100%.
Yeah. So when like picking an anime to watch, what are some of your like kind of, it has to meet standards or something like that?
Yeah, my friends are in it.
Okay. That works. Yeah.
That's
That's it.
oh cool. A new anime came out and these so and so people are in it. Oh, all
Yeah.
right, sweet. Let's watch that.
Oh, I love it.
But you can generally tell, right? The
Yeah.
first 15 minutes go by and you're like,
Mhm.
okay, do I want to continue with this? You can generally tell. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah,
So I
totally.
give all anime a chance, and those who
Mhm.
stick, I stick with. I stick with.
Totally. Totally. Hey guys, welcome back to the Patreon shout out portion of today's episode, where I shout out the patrons who help me so much. And yeah, if you want to subscribe to the Patreon, it really helps me out. You can get such things as exclusive videos, behind the scenes content, and so much more. So yeah, let's get on with the shout outs. Special thank you to Keith, Geo, Blythe, Brooke, Bunny, Mikey, and Buff Boy. Thank you guys so much for all the support. And yeah, back to the episode. So, what advice do you have for kind of actors getting into voice acting, or like just acting in general?
Uh, it's such a big umbrella question. To to bold to proceed boldly forward, even
Mhm.
if it feels wrong, acting, and to give it a good, earnest go at it,
Mhm.
and to proceed forward with the thinking and the idea of investigating whether this is a happiness or not. I talk about happiness quite a bit every time I'm asked to do interviews or speak in a public sense.
Mm-hmm.
This industry is crazy.
Yeah.
Any acting industry is insane. What do you mean job is not guaranteed? What do you mean there's 1,000 other actors that are auditioning for the same role?
Yeah.
Like why would anyone do this?
Mm-hmm.
For years and decades on. And and the Hollywood trope of do something else is not a trope.
Yeah.
It really isn't.
Yeah.
And those whose hearts are not in this as a part of their personal happiness, this journey of characterization and acting and producing all these entertainment things,
Mm-hmm.
if these things are not part of one's authentic, genuine happiness, they are indeed going to burn out at some point because it's work.
Yeah.
It's still work for the people that are focused on happiness,
Mm-hmm.
but they're willing to do it willingly, if you
Mm-hmm.
will. And those who last the longest, who will have a career, will have a good self-awareness driven understanding of how voice acting, on camera acting, stage acting is a part of their happiness
Mm-hmm.
and not something that you do for money, fame, whatever it might be.
Mm-hmm.
That would be my biggest advice for sure.
Yeah.
Acting for anime, you gotta move to Texas.
Yep.
Move to Texas. As much as you don't want to, move to Texas.
Yeah, that's valid. So, moving into like a tiny bit of video games, how is the recording process for video games going? Depend like anime's different, live action dubbing's different. How is it for video games?
The process of for
Mm-hmm.
voice actors recording their lines is
Mm-hmm.
often the very last stage.
Mm-hmm.
There's more to be done. There's editing and all the things that have to be done, sure. But we are brought in towards the final leg of the stretch of the development, if you will.
Yeah.
So a lot of the things are already in stone to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
The stone itself is malleable still, but things are pretty much buttoned down and approved up and down the ladder. So as voice actors coming in, the concepts, the characters, the lines themselves are all approved and ready. They're still flexible and amenable,
Of
sure,
course.
depending on the performer and how the director might perceive them.
Mm-hmm.
But really, the job is to go in there and to do what we do the best,
Mm-hmm.
which is put down performances of every single line on a spreadsheet without much context given to us except for what the director tells you,
Mm-hmm.
to be as honest and authentic, and deliver a believable performance from line after line after line.
Mm-hmm.
And that's done collaboratively by the writer, the director, the actor on in the booth,
Mm-hmm.
so that we can get the best product out there for the players to enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense tonally, that makes sense emotionally, story wise, character driven, all the things.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but the process of recording, indeed, is mostly blind.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure you've heard this from other voice actors that we're not
Mm-hmm.
often afforded the luxury of getting advanced copies.
Yeah.
We simply show up to a studio or go into our home studio and they'll say, "Okay, I'm going to share my screen," or here's a Google link,
Yeah.
and that's the first time that we see the lines.
Mm-hmm.
So to compound on the advice for voice actors from the previous question,
Mm-hmm.
get very good at improv, not making things up per se,
Yeah.
but to be able to craft a believable acting moment at the flick of a finger with the given lines, as well as mechanically speaking, really great cold reading capability.
Mm-hmm. Damn. Yeah. Anytime a voice actor talks about cold reading, I'm like, that would mess me up so much. Like,
Well, it messes everybody up because
yeah.
we're human beings.
Mm-hmm.
But as actors, as anyone with any skill in a craft, you
Mm-hmm.
practice.
Yeah.
You can't be a good driver unless you practice driving.
It's true.
Same thing.
Yeah. It's true. So Looking back at all of the projects that you've worked on so far, what are some of your favorite memories from like the just being a part of a project?
Oh, wow. Jeez. Adam, I'm like 9 years into this journey. Oh gosh. It's it's gotta be the people.
Mm-hmm.
Um Working on projects is one thing,
Mm-hmm.
and acting and exercising my creativity and finding the happiness within is one thing, sure, but uh video games, anime, any entertainment project doesn't get made by a single, except for some indie games, I suppose.
Yeah.
It doesn't get made by a single person,
Mm-hmm.
right? There's always a team directing whatever it might be, and from the wide subgenres of voiceover, in commercial to explainers, to e-learning, to telephony, to video games, to audio dramas, across the entire swath of the spectrum, one commonality that stands out to me is the people and
Mm-hmm.
the relationship that we have with the professional relationships that we have with those people,
Mm-hmm.
how we connect with each other through this medium called voice acting, through this vehicle called voice acting, and to recognize each other's capabilities and creativities and our seriousnesses about this journey and our desire to collaboratively create art and exist in this otherworldly fictitious setting in this
Mm-hmm.
split second of a moment in this recording session.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's something beautiful about human connection and collaborative effort and spirit that gets embedded in all of that. And that's what I hone in on.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it doesn't matter what the project is, what genre, anime, video game it is. I'm happy to see the people and honored to be working with those people in this creative field.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love that. That's so lovely. Oh, I love that. So I'm trying to the words, the words. There we go. So when you were getting into voice acting 9 years ago, you said, what were some of the voice actors or actors that inspired you to start?
Yeah, 9 years ago, the very onset get go start of my voice acting was
Mm-hmm.
more focused on voice over,
Okay.
as everybody does.
Mm-hmm.
There, statistically speaking, there are more voice over jobs out there
Mm-hmm.
than voice acting.
Mm-hmm.
Um, all of it is voice acting, 100%. But one does not need the solid foundations of characterization in order to deliver an e-learning module, right?
Yeah, you're
Uh,
not wrong.
or whatever.
Yeah.
So, because the access to material, the clientele, and the content itself didn't require a specific skill of characterization per se, that's where I started. So there's plenty of like e-learning modules by companies that are behind closed doors and servers that'll never see the light of day because it's all like internal documents. Um, in 2020 is when I seriously started to switch to character voice acting.
Okay.
Again, happinesses,
Yeah.
right? I still work with a lot of the clients that I used to work with in voiceover
Mm-hmm.
capacity. I still work with them to this day, and they're still a huge part of my business. Um, but the mental and philosophical shift from voiceover to voice acting happened in 2024,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the first to welcome me, one of the first that like appeared on my radar
Mm-hmm.
that had a significant impact was Kaylee Mills, um, who we love.
Yeah, we love.
Uh, Kaylee's great. The
Yeah.
empathy, the professionalism, the
Mm-hmm.
the serious skills.
Yeah,
My gosh,
it's insane.
it's absolutely
Yeah.
phenomenal,
Yeah.
right? And inspired by Kaylee's performance
Mm-hmm.
and finding Twitter and a swath of voice actors that exist there.
Mm-hmm.
I learned more and found more and discovered more,
Mm-hmm.
and the rest is history.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. So, going from being a high school theater teacher to doing stuff right? How did being a teacher help you in that kind of shift?
Uh, there, I was about to say there's a saying. I don't know if there's a saying, but it's it's uh it's a public secret.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's a better way to put it. It's a public secret that being on the teacher perspective
Mm-hmm.
informs you or me about my own craft
Mm-hmm.
of acting. So working as a theater teacher, I taught and directed many teenagers, countless teenagers over a decade of time,
Yeah.
and I got to experience and absorb a very diverse and widely diverse group and philosophies and humans that thought and processed information in different ways about what
Mm-hmm.
acting is, how their characters are behaving in a certain story.
Mm-hmm.
And not only through observation, but direct contact and direct direction providing and direct contact with the talent in this manner, it's alarmingly enlightening
Mm-hmm.
about what I do as an actor. And that same feedback is heard from many actors who come to Red Side Studio, the educational studio that I run, who
Yeah.
are running a workshop for the first time, about how illuminating that experience is and how informing it is for their own acting efforts and journeys.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Entering into voice acting with 11 years of teaching experience has been an absolute blessing.
Mm-hmm.
Not only am I afforded the multi-perspective capability of my own lines delivered real time in my brain, I also understand what the directors are saying,
Mm-hmm.
what they're wanting to grab out of me, if you will. So, in addition to an acute understanding of what story is, right?
Mm-hmm.
All the plays that I've ever directed, have read and researched into the structures, the characters, the archetypes, all the things are indeed transferable, because acting is acting, whether it's voice or stage or whatever. Just methods are different,
Mm-hmm.
and having that knowledge and having that preconditioned, having that like pre-warmed up sense of what characterization is jumping
Mm-hmm.
into voice acting, I feel like I had a pretty huge leg up on everyone else jumping in on the same day that I decided to turn the character.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and for anyone listening as a voice actor, I recommend that you teach. Do it for free. Get it together with groups of other actors and direct them,
Mm-hmm.
into a certain performance that you think is the proper take. You'll be surprised at how illuminating that is and how
Mm-hmm.
informing that is about your own acting.
Mm-hmm.
Fueled by that knowledge and the awareness, I continue to push forward to hopefully become a better director, become a better teacher, because I knew for sure that was supporting and exponentially multiplying my acting capabilities at the same time.
Mm-hmm. So, how did the studio come to be? Were you just missing the teaching aspect, or?
Mostly,
Yeah.
I started out with individual one-on-one coaching, which I
Mm-hmm.
still offer to this day.
Yeah.
But and working one-on-one with a talent has its own rewards and effectiveness and deliveries and methods.
Mm-hmm.
Group sessions are something else.
Yeah.
Not only is education involved in that, there's also the idea of building a camaraderie inside a community of actors. And sure enough, whenever announcements come up about, we just had this session by this other studio that I'm not in charge of, sure enough, it's the same people over and over and over.
Yeah.
And uh, I'm sure by now you've heard it. The voice actors who are currently working in whatever fields also used to see each other in these workshops. in the very anecdote, very analogic, oh gosh, very analogy driven
Yeah.
explanation, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
It's like graduating with a class.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that sense of friendship, the professional friendship, some personal even,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of coming, rising together, if you will, in this
Mm-hmm.
tide, brings a sense that ties the actors into a sense of community and a camaraderie between each other as colleagues. And that human connection that we're going back to, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
is quite important
Mm-hmm.
than one's own acting capabilities.
Mm-hmm.
Not in a sense of frivolous, like who knows me and who knows you kind of a thing, but more as a internal community that outside perspective cannot afford to are not afforded to view, and they're not afforded to understand. They're just not in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
But inside the circle, if you will, there's an acute and full spectrum understanding that this is about community, supporting each other, loving our work, loving each other's work, and pushing each other up and to so that we can all rise together.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably the reason why I started out. I started Red Side Studio to
Mm-hmm.
encourage more of that.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Oh, we love community. We love it. Um, and that's since I've started interviewing voice actors, it's been nothing but incredible. And I just, yeah, it's just been so lovely. And yeah, the community is incredible. And just, oh, makes makes my heart happy.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So moving to some of your work. So what has been maybe a favorite line or kind of something that sticks out to you that you were like, I love what I'm saying right now, I guess.
uh, hmm. Oh, that's so. Adam, please. Uh, there are projects that are out there that I've worked on,
Yeah.
um, that allowed me to play a part in the story of
Hmm.
the project. Sure, um, but every 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 line, I'll boldly claim that
Yeah.
every line that came out of my mouth for that character in this project, um, was genuine
Hmm.
and real. Some of it is definitely some sort of a mask, a characterization, a portrayal, a caricature, perhaps. Some of it is, depending on what the stylistic direction that the director calls for.
Hmm.
But often, often we, the voice actors, are provided with an opportunity to express ourselves
Hmm.
and to bring our own takes into it in a collaborative method and environment. And for this one character, I was really in tune with who I am and how I would say these words. And the director, thankfully, knew as they would, as I knew that they would,
Yeah.
simply stepped out of the way.
Hmm.
Um, Guide rails for little nudges to
Yeah.
back to the center, sure. But I remember that session or those series of sessions being very much me driven and my words being recorded rather than me acting, if you will. And it is the greatest gift that any actor can have, in my opinion, to be so to be given the opportunity, to be afforded the opportunity where I can just be myself without any pretense of characterization. That's probably my favorite set of lines that I've
Hmm.
said.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I love that. Oh my god. So what are some, as an anime fan and a manga fan, what are some projects that you would just love to just dive into?
Hmm. Although my anime career is pretty short. I don't have a lot of illustrious any items really on my list of anime credits. What I would love more than anything else, Adam, is to
Yeah.
be in a slice of life anime.
Please.
Oh man, I don't know, something about on Netflix.
Hmm.
There's a show.
Hmm.
It's called Samurai something or another.
Okay.
It's a slice of life, real live action
Okay.
series, and it's about this retired guy in Japan. Um, he's retired now, and he has all this freedom of time and obligations. So he goes to various restaurants in his neighborhood that he's never been to explore the culinary sides of his hometown or whatever town that he lives in.
Yeah.
And he sits down, and stuff happens at restaurants as they do.
Yeah.
And he imagines this samurai from the Edo period who's eating, how they might act and behave, and
Yeah.
it's a super funny slice of life kind of a thing.
Hmm.
Uh, I know. The
Oh,
Way of the House Husband.
yes.
I want to be in something like that.
So good.
Perfect.
Such a good series. Oh my
And
god.
I want to do a live action one just like him too.
Yes. Yes. Oh my god. Um,
Way of the House Husband in America. I don't know,
yes.
something like that.
Yeah. Something. Any show with food. There we go.
Yeah, yeah. Food Wars. I enjoyed the
Yeah.
heck out of that,
Yeah.
except for all the nudity. But
Yeah, that was it. That was a I forget who I had on, but someone was like, "Yeah, one of my favorite anime is Food Wars." And I was like, "Are
yeah,
you okay?"
like great,
Yeah.
fantastic in the execution
Yeah.
and concept, but something about clothes exploding
Yeah.
from your
Uh,
skin with the.
yeah. I was like, "The food fantastic. The
I've never
cooking
had food that good.
literally
I can't resonate.
nope, nope, can't relate to that. As much as I love my cooking, can't do it. Um oh god. So just trying to what are some of your favorite series going on right now?
uh, I'm excited about things that are coming.
Okay.
Um, for better or for worse,
Mm-hmm.
I am busy. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm busy,
Yeah.
and my Crunchyroll history has been my watch history, unfortunately, has been quite dormant. Um, but on call right now, I'm gonna go ahead and pull it up, just to see what I watched recently.
Yeah, totally.
One anime that I have really enjoyed so far, at least currently in the past month, maybe more,
Okay.
is Days with My Stepsister.
Really? Okay. I've heard really good things.
Wonderfully told,
Mm-hmm.
with premise slice of life. I guess you could classify it as slice of life,
Yeah.
but uh, something about family and how each and every individual that we know that walk around that are seemingly normal
Mm-hmm.
are also dealing with things.
Yeah.
And there's that saying of be kind to everyone. You don't know what they're going through, right? That kind of a sentiment.
Totally.
That thematic idea is loudly represented in this anime, and I really appreciated that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd say that one.
Yeah. Yeah, that I've heard really good things about that one cuz when the trailer got announced, people were like, that's a weird title. And then And then, people who had read the manga was just like, it's not what you think. It's much deeper than that. It's.
I think that's what I read on a Reddit post
Oh yeah.
that made me go, okay, so maybe it's not this weird, like,
Yeah.
etchy thing that happens. No, no,
Yeah.
no. I'll give it a go. And sure enough, it was a delightful story.
Yeah, I've heard again nothing but good things about it. Thank you so much for coming on.
Well, thank you for having me.
Of
What a pleasure.
course, of course. Where can the lovely people find you?
Oh gosh. My website is juneyoon.actor for all work things related. My coaching site and information and resources is juneyoon.info. Across the socials, you'll find me June _ I'm primarily active on Twitter. Yeah. And I'll stream sometimes on Twitch,
Ooh, okay.
Twitter, Twitch, and that use June_Yoon. Um, but yeah, I'm pretty active online, especially on Twitter. So should you get a hold of me, Twitter is probably the best place to get in touch.
Perfect. Yeah, go follow him. His links will be down below. You can follow me at Corky Cosplays on Instagram, Adam Corky everywhere else, and subscribe to the Patreon. It keeps the lights on. And yeah, I'll see you guys next week. Oh, bye bye.